coach.
Brian, you've been around this game a long time. How exceptional is this team?
You know, this team, and we haven't spoken like this at all, because as these guys said, and as Leilani just said, we've kept the main thing, and we just focus. What do we need to do to win the next game? And however, season's over, and I don't know if we won 22 games or 23 games. I don't know. There's this 22 0-1. And scored a lot of goals, right? I think the highest ranked offense in the country, and you know, pretty good defending as well. And like you said earlier, and I told the team this after our Duke game, we played at Duke, still with one more ACC game to play. We scored the most goals in ACC play in the history of the program, right? We now just won regular season, ACC tournament, and then the national championship. The 2014 team did the same thing, right? We obviously did this in undefeated fashion. And I told the team after that Duke game, first evers, when you do a first ever within a program, it's really special, right? And it's hard. At Florida State, it's nearly freaking impossible, right, to do a first ever, right? But this group has done a collection of first evers, right, in terms of goals scored in the league, in terms of now undefeated regular season already, and now undefeated to going through the whole season without a loss, and there are going to be many more as we kind of comb through statistics. So, and as I answered the earlier question about, we have coaches in this room, we have ex-coaches in this room. They know the game day anxiety of a coach, right? It is horrible, okay? It is a horrible feeling throughout the day. And I've woken up a happy guy on game days because of the confidence in these players.
Middle.
I talked to you a lot about the defense this season, what you guys have done, playing with a chip on your shoulder. Talk about the moment that you shared down there with Lauren Flynn. Just the award she got as the defensive player. You've talked so much about her and the impact she's had. Just hugging her, what did that moment feel?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, I met Lauren when she was, I think, 12 years old. Her older sister played for me at Tennessee, so I've known the family for a long time. And she was really connected, to the old coaching staff. And they were the ones, she was a winger, and they turned her into a center back, right? And watching the 2021 national championship against BYU, she was as I was sitting on my couch watching the game, she was and it wasn't tainted because I like her so much and the family, she was my most valuable player because BYU had a very potent attack, and she was phenomenal in her defending, phenomenal. And then she was in with the national team, and that was all based on what the old coaching staff had helped her get to. And now they leave, right? And now in comes a new coach. And it's been hard for her, right? It's been hard because those were her guys, despite the history we have with her family. And last year was kind of rough for her, right? And even the start of this year was kind of rough for her. But we had some real good heart-to-hearts, and we brought Elisa, our strength coach, in, and Alora, our athletic trainer, and just told her how much we love her and how we're here for her, and we believe in her, and changed a couple things about where she's playing. We moved her from the right side center back to the left center back where she was in 2021 and spring of 2021, and then she kind of started to gain some confidence that she hasn't had in the last year and a half, both as a player but then also as a human. And within our team, she started to become authentic Lauren Flynn again. And so as much as I talk about these two and their leadership within our team, authentic Lauren started to really lead our team. She was smiling more. She was more comfortable in her own skin. Just a happy kid, and being her, right? And we have a little ritual now pre-game that she started around the Notre Dame game when we circle up right before the game. I can't tell you what she says because it's a bit of potty mouth, okay? But it's a freaking beautiful thing, right? And it gets our team so excited because they all love Lauren Flynn. And so for it to culminate in the way our team defending had gone the last 15 games, and then her to receive this honor, special deal for her. And really cool because success isn't always like that, right? You can go here and then you can fall down, and tough times, tough deals, but are you strong enough to come out of it? And that's what makes this special for her.
For a row on the end.
I mean, obviously, 28 minutes, no score. Jordan Dudley goes up there, sinks that, free kick, the penalty kick. But for a freshman in that moment, just to step up and hit that, with ease, didn't look you look very comfortable up there,
Totally, and what makes it even more impressive is that 2 weeks ago against Texas, right, she stepped up and took a penalty, right? And so therefore, they've seen Jordan Dudley take a penalty. They know where she went on her prior penalty, right? And she didn't change the side she went to, right? She just went there again because of the unequivocal confidence with which she plays.
It felt like the turning point of that game was right after Stanford scored their goal, because you guys pretty much controlled the first half, came out of the second half. It felt like a little bit like it was slow out of the second half. They score, and now you think, okay, they're back. Talk to me about the moments after that goal, because it seemed like that just jolted you guys to life.
Totally. Once again, and what makes this sport so special is we don't have timeouts, right? And so coaches can't solve this, right? A timeout can't solve this, right? They've got to solve it, right? And so once again, back to my confidence on game days, I know these guys got it, right? Because they're talented, because they believe, and they're so determined, right? And I hated it in that moment. All of a sudden the score's 2-1, right? Terrible feeling. However, I love it because exactly what you're talking about, their response, right? And then I don't know the exact minutes, right? They scored in the 52nd minute, and then by the 61st minute, 10 minutes later, the game is over. It's 4-1, right? And all credit to them. They were not going to, as cheesy as this might sound, it's true in this case, they were not going to be denied.
We have a question from Zoom. Melvin, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you,
A
Melvin.
special moment, great game. I want to take you back to another game, though. On October 19th, first game against Pitt, the last time you guys were ever behind in a game, you came back after being down.
Melvin, I
1-0
think that might have been the only time this season where you're down.
Yeah, so coming back from that stayed with you throughout the year about this team, because it seemed like that's when the light really came on for you guys, and you never looked back.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this weekend, what was the score at halftime on Friday? I don't even remember. The Clemson game. Anybody help me out here?
1-0.
1-0. Okay, cool. So 12 of our 25 games, we were tied or behind only one time at halftime, right? And so we came out of the gate, and in that game you're referring to, the Pitt game, we scored 3 goals in 12 minutes, in a 12-minute span in the second half, and they got a penalty late, and we won the game 3-2. But we're an incredibly resilient group, and I told them that after the game, and so we knew Pitt in that game was, at that point, we felt like the best team we played all season, right? And I told our team afterwards, yeah, they don't have Carolina to their name, or Virginia to their name, or Duke to their name, Notre Dame to their name, but they're a really, really good team. And that's why we had to play them 2 more times, right? Because they got to the ACC semifinal, and then they got to the Elite Eight.
Back row.
Yeah, so a bit of a tactical question for you here. Most finals are usually cagey affairs, but you guys came out and pressed and counter-pressed really aggressively right away. Was that influenced by some of what you saw with the BYU game, or is it just that's our identity, we're not changing it for any reason?
Great question. It is our identity, but we also know Stanford is a program that forever loves to have the ball, right? They are at their best when they're pinging it around and in a rhythm and making you chase. And we didn't want to chase. And we wanted to make the game fast and make them play at a speed at which they were uncomfortable, right? And so we were relentless in that pressing. And what was tricky about it is they're so good, right? And a lot of teams play Stanford in a 2-front, right? So that they can get in the face of those center backs. But we don't play it in a 2-front. So we actually had 3 different ways in which we could press throughout the game. So you go back to the question, first of all, I'm gonna steal your word, tapestry. Great word. She stole my word, gumption. I'm stealing your word, tapestry.
Pass the words around.
Beautiful. So to that question about the internationals, right? They are so intelligent, right? They grow up in countries where all they see are people playing in the street, games on TV. They don't have American football, they don't have baseball, they don't have basketball. All they watch is the game. So they are incredibly intelligent. So last night when we tell them, these are the 3 ways in which we're going to press based on the cues, based on what their back line looks like, based on what their defensive center midfielders look like, and they're like, okay, we got it, no problem, right? And very, very intelligent. And so we're able to roll it out and do it, and I think did pretty well with it.
Time for one more minute.
You were hired in April of last year, obviously weird circumstances, handed a great program. You had convinced players to stay, they stuck with you for the most part. You now put a 4th star on your chest. What does it mean for you, for the program to be here, for what Leilani said about you, just everything that's transpired since the day you arrived at FSU?
Yeah, well, pretty cool that Jim Curry made the trip from Dallas to watch this game, and obviously sitting next to Michael Alford and the 2 gentlemen that gave me this opportunity, right? And so forever thankful and grateful for that, right? And then yeah, we had, when I got here, we had 9 players who were not in the transfer portal, right? And so if we had to roll the ball out the next day, we'd be down 2 men, 2 women. So we had to convince some, and you're right, some transferred, some went pro, but we got 20. We got 20 together last year, and we had a pretty good year, right? Won the regular season and won the ACC tournament and got to the College Cup. And losing in the College Cup last year hurt so much, but again, it led to the determination of this group to not be denied. And like I said, they were a part of the championship 2 years ago, but it was their team. And so it is, you said the 4th star, right? You get here and you see the logo, 3 stars, right? And everybody around the building talks about, well, when we get the 4th star, what's it gonna look like, and what are we doing that? And I'm sitting there thinking, can we just talk about practice today? So to have the 4th star is, it's priceless.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.